come back. Next comes a series of mixed traffic designs that handled secondary duties and commuter work, starting with the Class 4s, both in tender and tank form, and the much loved Class 5 460s based on the LMS Black 5s. They were powerful and popular. Over the years I've gained a collection of 6 standard Class 4s. Starting off with the Wren 4MT. Certainly a simple model by today's easy brake standards. We also have the very lovely Bachmann 4MT tank, an older model herself, but beautiful still. It really captures the powerful elegance of the class. Design work for the 4MTs was done at Brighton, the overall programme being overseen by Robert Riddles. 130 of the class of 155 were built at Brighton, with 15 and 10 built at Derby and Doncaster respectively. The model suffered from faulty motors early on, but Bachmann sent out new motors, which I have to say have been fine ever since. Opening the model to fit the motor or do servicing is an absolute pain in the butt. And here is my first standard class locomotive from way back in 1982, a mainline 460 number 75001. I recall seeing the Bluebell Railway standard class 4 running and just having to own a model of one. As you can see, she's still going strong despite the 43 years of model service. I wonder how many actual miles she's covered in all that time. Design work was done at Brighton by R.A. Riddles with the help of Swindon, Derby and Doncaster. Construction was at BR Swindon Works. 80 locomotives of this type were built. Do you remember my video where I tried to recreate a photograph by the talented photographer Nigel Kendall? There's a link at the top right now. At the time I had no standard 4-260, but now I do. Here is 76066, another Eastleigh engine at work. The 260s had slightly smaller wheels than their 460 counterparts, as it was envisaged that they would work more goods traffic. In the end, they did a lot of passenger work too. 115 were built. They had 5-foot 3-inch wheels, whereas the 460s had 5-foot 8-inch wheels. The class was designed at the ex-Alinear works at Doncaster, which was also responsible for building 70 of the 115 strong class. The remaining 45 were built at Horwich. The southern moguls were concentrated in the area around Eastleigh, Southampton and Bournemouth. They were used between Portsmouth, Salisbury and Cardiff, Reading to Redhill, Brighton to Bournemouth and over the Swanage branch. Their most celebrated duty was the London Waterloo to Lymington boat train. To finish our look at the Class 4s, we have two more 460 tender engines in the shape of 75053 by Hornby, a lovely model indeed, and then my 1989 Bachmann 75073, the one that had the terribly swollen up driving wheel inserts and that I fixed in the video link shown top right now. These operated the backbone of services in the 1950s and 60s, at home on passenger and freight alike. I can think of 7 preserved 460 standard class 4s, and it's no surprise that they are popular engines in preservation. In fact, if you had to choose a single locomotive class to work as many lines as possible with good power, then I think you could do far worse than the supremely balanced standard class 4. Now we come to the remarkable Standard Class 5. They were a development of the iconic Black 5 from the LMS, so it's only right that I show you my LMS Black 5 by Hornby in action, together with a BR example, also by Hornby, that arrived back in 2003, and in fact was lost for some years due to a database error. I'm so glad I rediscovered her. Introduced by William Stanier and built between 1934 and 1951, a total of 842 Black 5s were built. In their early days, the locomotives were known as Black Staniers for their black livery, in contrast to Stanier's other class of 460, the LMS Jubilees, which were painted in crimson. 18 Black 5s have been preserved. So here is my newest model purchased from D-Rails in order to make this video. She's a Bachmann model of the standard class 5 and is presented in lightly weathered BR lined green. 73051 with shed plate 82F, making her a Bath green loco, and so she worked on the Somerset and Dorset line frequently. She also spent time at East Leigh. Delivered in May 1954, she was withdrawn in August 1965. There is something about these 5 MTs that speaks of balance and power, don't you think? 172 standard class 5s were built between 1951 and 1957. The design work was done at the ex-LNER Doncaster Works, but the bulk of the construction was done at Derby Works. 30 were in service by January 1952. There was then a gap in construction before Derby resumed building its remaining 100 engines. 42 were built at Doncaster starting in August 1955 and finishing in May 1957, with Derby's last engine following a month later. No doubt you will have seen the video clip of the Bluebell Standard 5 in my announcement video. Let's sit back now and enjoy the full clip of a Standard Class 5 departing Horsted Canes. Cheers for now. Join us next time when we look at the Clan, Britannia and 8P standard classes.